And what I've learned from Donna is she's also a storyteller. She likes to tell, she tells stories. And her stories are really, I think, purposeful. And purposeful and intentional in that she wants to help people to build relationships and build relationships in an environment that is not limited to a particular corporation or organization. It's about building relationships and networks very broadly across society and in the work that we do. She was talking to me about her interest in people and how people have things to say and stories to tell, and how we all learn from each other in those opportunities, and how networking is really about the power of one, the power of people who think about, in a servant leadership context, what is it that I can bring to this relationship? And how can I help my colleague? And how if I can help another community or my community grow and prosper? How are we developing together? And so I really enjoyed our conversation, and I know she's going to give us just a wonderful speech. She's going to talk about the power of one. She's going to talk about building those intentional relationships. And she's going to talk about some of the work that she's done and the learnings that she's had over what sounds to have been a very interesting career. And I was really happy to meet her. I know you're going to really enjoy what she has to say. She also wanted me to very much tell you that she has a lot of resources, and she believes that by all working together and sharing, that we all grow, and therefore her resources are free to all of you. Because she really does believe in servant leadership, and we all serve each other. And with that, I'd like to welcome Donna Messer to the stage.
I love it when somebody says that, I want to meet me. It sounds really great. So, first of all, I want to thank everybody who has already spoken, because everything that's come out this morning has impacted what I have to say. You know, we're talking about leadership, we're talking about helping each other, we're talking about a whole bunch of things. And what we don't realize is that each and every one of us have something that we can give to every single person in this room. The problem is we don't know what it is we have to offer, because quite often we don't see what other people see. So I was here last night, I was upstairs in the lounge, having a glass of water, and meeting a lot of really great people. I found out what color underwear some people wear. Superhero, okay? I sat at the table and I was asking questions, and he goes, I don't know what to tell you. And it's Chris. It's a wave again, Chris. He said, but I could tell you I wear blue underwear, and sometimes they have superheroes on them. And I thought, well, that's important, because there's a resource you might not have. So what I'd like to do, first of all, is I'd like all of you to stand up, and I'd like you to be able to swing around a little bit without hitting anybody, because I think you need a little exercise. Okay, now, here's what we're going to do. This is what all of the winning teams, all the coaches, this is what they do. So you're going to do what I tell you. Got that? Okay. So your feet are about 12 inches apart, okay? And you're going to raise your dominant arm. You're going to point your dominant finger, and on the count of 3, you're going to go as far behind your back without hurting yourself, and you're going to mark that spot. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, you mark the spot where you went to. Okay, bring your arm back, put it down to your side. Now we're going to do it. All the guys in the room go, I don't want to do this. We're going to do it. Close your eyes, and we're going to do the same thing with our eyes closed. Ready? Raise your dominant arm, point your dominant finger. On the count of 3, do exactly what you did the first time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you know where you are. You put your eyes closed, bring your arm back, drop it to your side, take a deep breath. Let it out. Now we're going to do it one more time. Raise your dominant arm, point your dominant finger. On the count of 3, again, 1, 2, 3. Mark the spot, bring it back, put your arm down to your side, take a deep breath, open your eyes. Okay, now we're going to do it again with our eyes open. Put your arm, finger, 1, 2, 3. How much farther did you go? Do you know why? Because God told you you could. You believe it. You know that you never can do what you think you can do. You can sit now. Okay, so that's the power of one, and it's showing you that all of us can create miracles. Okay, so I'm going to talk really fast, and I've got somebody who's going to hold up a 5-minute, so we'll keep on track. If there's anything that I don't get out, I give you permission to give everybody my PowerPoint. Okay, so that's all right. Oh, and I have a book, I have 2 books. I'm going to tell the stories. The first book is called Effective Networking Strategies, and the Royal Bank of Canada bought enough of them to make me a Canadian bestseller. Thank you, RBC. So now TD Waterhouse comes to me, and they say, you know, we give out gifts when we have people speak, and we're having you speak, and we'd like to give a book rather than the bump on TD Waterhouse. I said, great, I've got this book, Effective Networking Strategies, RBC. We don't want it. We want our own. I said, well, I'm working on one. And they said, fine, we'll buy enough copies so you don't have to worry about paying for it. So Cycles of Life, keeping you on track. Thank you, TD Waterhouse. So, they will be outside. I have a limited number. If you want them, you will find that those books are all about how you can use who you are to get where you want to go in what you want to do. Those people that I met last night, every person I met, I said, hi, my name is Donna Messer. What do you want to get out of this conference? And other than Chris, they all had something that they were going to say. I warned you, Chris. But you're going to tell me what you want to accomplish. But each person that said something, I went, oh, I know someone that I can introduce you to. Now, leadership and the power of one is not about who you are. It's about who you know and how you use that knowledge so that there's a benefit to both sides. So think about it. If I know someone that wants to know you, I am going to introduce you to that person, and I'm going to say to them using social media, here's who Leanne is. This is what I know about her. Here, you can go and check it out. Now I go to Leanne and say, I really think you should meet this person. Here's who this person is. Here's what they're all about. Check it out. Now, I make the introduction, but what I do is I do something called accountability. We heard that this morning. Accountability is good. If you say to the 2 people you introduced, keep me in the loop. Let me know what happens, because in the power of one, you want to be able to measure your results. And your results don't have to be in dollars and cents. It has to be in how each of us has benefited from that introduction. Now, at one stage in my life, I was the Director of Agriculture for the state of Illinois in Canada. And to my American friends who are here, sometimes you get a little concerned and you're not quite sure what Canada really is. So Illinois gave me Iceland and Greenland, because that was part of Canada too, wasn't it? Now, I've been to Texas, and I love Texas. I've spoken at the University of Austin. I've done all kinds of stuff with LBJ. I like it. But what I was given was an opportunity to really empower with the power of one. I could come to Alberta, and I could say to anyone, so, would you like to do business with Illinois? And you would say, absolutely. What kind of business would you like to do? Well, I'm interested in the farming community. I want to sell my beef. Oh, well, let me introduce you to someone who wants to buy beef. Now, the governor who hired me, he said, Donna, free trade is a two-way street. Door's got to swing both ways. He said, let's recognize that if I've got an Illinois company that comes into Alberta, they're still going to be paying taxes in Illinois. And I'm lucky that I can take that Illinoisan and bring them back and forth. So for the 10 years that I was in business, what I did was I made you Canadians really, really important in the states that I recognized. Now, I was hired by Illinois, but after I worked for a few years, I had a really good track record. My first deal was $14 million. I wasn't a broker. I would have got 4% if I was a broker. So I started thinking about that, and I started to hear people say, Donna, can you connect us? Donna, can you connect us? And I kept hearing this word, connect us. So in 1993, I thought, why don't I register the domain name, connect us? Because maybe it'll come in handy one day. So those of you who understand the importance of social media recognize that I was on the leading edge, not knowing anything, but knowing that it's not what you know, it's who you know that will make the difference. Because there were people already out there that knew what social media was all about. So I had somebody to build a website. I didn't know anything about websites, but I had one before anybody else. Was it a good one? Heck no. But at least it was one. So one is the opportunity, the need, and the empowerment not of yourself, but those of you who are connected to others. Being part of economic development, being part of a community is incredible. And the best thing that you can do is tell people who are not part of your community about your community. So I come from a place called Oakville, Ontario. Now we're called a town. Why? We have 182,000 population because it's better in our minds to be a town than to be in a city. Now we understand that Airdrie, where are my Airdrie people? There you go. Talked to you last night? Okay, so what did I find out? Milton, which is the town of Milton, is kind of matched up with Airdrie, who's the city of Airdrie. And Milton's bigger than Airdrie. See, Airdrie wants to be a city, Milton wants to be a town. So it's all about perspective. Because in Ontario, being a town is being warm, it's being friendly, it's being approachable. Being a city is you get to know everybody. So I'm going to be trading off with Airdrie. All of the cards that I collected, I made little notes on them, even Chris's. And you're never going to get away from Chris. So what we're going to do is I'm going to connect with people and I'm going to share. Now when I said hello, $5, yep. Mine doesn't work, by the way. I have a BlackBerry that is a Bell phone, and it won't work here. I got to go talk to TELUS. Darn. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find out a little bit about who I am and what I know and how I can share it. And I do tell stories, so let's talk about how we can maximize the opportunities we all have in this room. You're getting business cards, right? You're trading business cards with everybody. Okay, if I was to say to you, you got a business card from this gentleman yesterday, right? Well, tell me about it. Yeah, tell me, where did he go on his last holiday?
Hawaii.
I didn't ask you. He went to Europe? Very good. Did you know he lost his mind this morning? No, did you really? I'm in this room and I see him and he's sitting there and he's going, it's gone. I'm thinking, what? He said, I can't find it. I'm thinking, what? It was here. What? And it was his iPad. And he said, it was only gone for 2 seconds. Where could it be? I said, I don't know, but it's got to be here. And he's looking around, no, can't be. All of a sudden, there's a bag on top of the bag. He goes, that's mine. And it was like God had given him a gift. So, you know, this is what technology has done to us. Okay, so the power of one is using our leverage. Leverage in this room. If I want to know something about Alberta, can I come to you? I should be able to. Am I going to know who you are and what you do? Should be able to. Now, there are a few people that I've known from the past, and I already network with those people, and I try my best to send people to them because it makes them get where they want to go. But it's also good for me, because recognize every time the power of one creates opportunities for many, you get credit. So you get to shine a little bit in somebody else's light. So use the power of leverage. So here's the power of one. how do I use my power? I am a belonger to many associations. I'm on the board for United Way. That tells me that I understand not-for-profits, and I do a lot of work in the not-for-profit sector. I'm on the board for a number of organizations who bring new Canadians into Canada, and all of them are going to Ontario, British Columbia, and Quebec. There are no jobs in Ontario, British Columbia, and Quebec. There are jobs in Alberta, in Manitoba, in Saskatchewan, and I'm trying to tell people, this is where you need to go. You're all experienced, you're trained, you gotta go. And they say, who do you know? I don't know enough of you. So if you tell me, hey, I'm from, and these are the kind of people we're looking for, there's a good opportunity for me to introduce you to those people. That doesn't mean you're hiring them, but we did hear this morning that the biggest problem you've got is human resources. Well, if you've got problems with human resources, I got humans. And they got resources. They got training, but they don't know where to go because nobody tells them about the opportunities that are in your provinces. I have something called 3C. I would love to send it to you. So anybody who wants to know about 3C, I did my homework. I found out what kind of jobs are out in your province. But I don't have the contacts, so I can't build them. You putting this into your iPad? Good boy. Okay. So, I'm a lifestyle editor for a number of publications. I write. You got a story? Is it a good one? I might be able to write about it. I can pitch it. You want visibility? You can't get your own visibility. Can you imagine saying, hi, I'm with Alberta Economic Development. Let me tell you how wonderful I am. They don't care. But if I tell them, really? That's a third-party way to go. So, as a writer, I want all of you to become authorities. And the way you become an authority is to get more visibility. Visibility gives you credibility, credibility gives you profit. Now that doesn't have to be money, it might be wherever you want to go. So, I'm going to be working with you, right, Tracy? What am I going to do with you? She is going to become an authority. She found out last night over a glass of water. Or two. And what we did was we decided that in order for her to get where she wants to go, now she's not changing who she is, she's not doing anything other than recognizing that maybe people don't know exactly what she's done. So I'm going to teach her very quickly how to write that book. Because when you write that book, you know what people say? They say, she's an authority. She wrote the book on it. Right? How many of you were an authority and could write the book on it? Because if you want to know how, I can teach you. Is it going to cost you anything? No. Are you going to owe me? Absolutely. I'm going to hold you accountable. You're going to share. That's why I'm here. Because I've been to Alberta before. People have heard me and said, hey, come on back. But it's not about me. It's about who I know. Okay? So I want you to recognize that every time I say something, I'm backing it up. Now, I want to see this in Alberta. We set a Guinness World Record last year. When I found out I was going to be talking in Alberta, I said, I want to do something similar in Alberta. Now, can you imagine doing 4,000 business matches in just over 2 hours? Those business matches are all people you want to know. We have 7 tracks. I can show you the videos. It's amazing. Somebody in Alberta needs to know how to do this. Because you can raise awareness and challenge us. See if you can set another world record. But I did that with the power of one. One person said to me, Donna, can you help me with the moderation? I said, yes. He said, who do you know? Oh, let me find out. We worked out with Ontario Centres of Excellence. Do you have an Alberta Centre of Excellence? Don't you want to know about it? Yes, Donna. Somebody say yes, Donna. Yes, Donna. Okay, good. Because I'll introduce you. If it doesn't work, it doesn't cost anything. If it does work, you just got something for nothing. Okay? So, how do other people see you when they look in your mirror? How do people see you? You have no idea. But your sister said to me, you've got to talk to my sister. She's amazing. So I'm going to see amazing sister. And so I'm sitting talking to amazing sister, and I say, so who are you? And she looked at me and she goes, well, I'm not exactly sure who you want me to tell you who I am. So I just started asking her a series of questions, and it was amazing what I learned. So what am I going to do with you? I am going to interview you on my radio program called Talk to Donna. She's going to get visible. She's going to talk to people, and I'm going to introduce her to some of the university students who are in their last year who really need to know all about her because she's an incredible marketer. Now, there's a lot more about her, but that's what I saw when I looked in her mirror for people that I knew. Doesn't mean the end-all be-all, it just means it's an opportunity. So, who are you? And who do you know? And what can you share? So let me see, lady in the green, who are you? You? I always like that they go, they usually look at their badge to see what their name is. Yes? Hi, Tracy. So, what can I do to help you, or who do you know that I should know? You said accounting, right? Oh, a counselor, they said accounting. Okay, so where is that? I like that. So does everybody in the room know this lady? Okay, so stand up. Okay, so you're not going to miss her. She's in the green sweater. And she is a counselor. And as a counselor, are you a government official? An elected official. Do I offer congratulations or condolences? Depending on the day? Yes. But we learned this morning how to deal with government and government relations. It was valuable. I don't know how many of you were in the same training program as me, but talk about the PR for the GR. Oh, wow. It was fabulous. I would like your card. And I'm going to give you my card, and I'm going to follow up and see what I can do to find out more about who you are so that I can find out who I should introduce you to. Okay? Cool. See, that was easy. Now, she doesn't want my card because of who I am. She wants the card because I might know somebody. Hi, guy in red, who are you? Sean, tell me about yourself.
I'm originally from Manitoba. I work for the
Town
town of Beaumont.
of Beaumont, I don't know where that is either. Okay, so what makes Beaumont different from the green place over there?
We're a small French community.
It's from, oh, French community. Aha. So I should be telling all my French friends about you, right? Okay, do you know Cora? Do you know Cora's breakfast and lunch? She speaks French. She's a friend of mine. You want to bring somebody who can really, really cause a problem? Bring Cora in. I'll tell you a story, but I have to tell it after, okay? Over another glass of water. Cora, how many French people in this room? Okay, so you know that there are words that are swear words, and there are words that are not swear words in Quebec. So Cora and I were in Newfoundland, and we're both going to be speaking. And Cora is her first time speaking in English. And she's speaking to 700 Christian women. You were there, weren't you, Tracy? Yeah. So anyway, she makes her speech. I'm first, and then she goes on second. She goes, Donna, how was I? I said, oh, you were great. But Cora, don't use the F word. And she goes, F me, Donna. My son, he tell me the same thing. I swear to you, I've never heard 700 women intake their breath at the same time. So if you bring her to a French community, you're okay. Okay, so as you heard, I tell stories, but Cora is wonderful. I would recommend if you can get her together. Now, sometimes she'll come if she's opening a new store or something, but I also know her, so sometimes it pays to know somebody who knows somebody. Okay? So, when I talked about, did you know the person next to you, sometimes you should be able to break the ice. So sometimes you have to be able to say, well, what have we got in common? Now, it's not like I'm going to tell you that my favorite vacation spot, but when I heard that he went to Europe, I love Europe. And I was fortunate enough to be invited to Brussels, and they did a video of me on an English-speaking channel, and it was a Canadian in Brussels. I never saw the video, but I know that everywhere I went, I went, oh, oh. And I could just imagine it sounded like I was in labor, but I was just in awe because it was so gorgeous. So, vehicle. I drive a Chevy Malibu. Now, don't get excited. But I work for a large sales company that carries Porsches and Audi something or others and all of these expensive cars. So I'm going to go and do a training program, and I drive in my Chevy Malibu. And I bring my keys and I say, I'm here to do the training. They didn't even let me finish. They grabbed my keys and my car was put under a tarp before I could do. So sometimes it's not what you drive, it's how you share your story. Hobbies and special interests are really important. Sometimes you can share it. When I was walking around here last night, I was hearing about people who were looking to go for walks. And how far was the walk and what could they see and what would they do? And, gee, that's great. Associations, I belong to an association of women in food industry management. Are there any women in this room that like food? Could be a good connection. So there's opportunities. Okay, so what's on your bucket list? Tell somebody today what's on your bucket list. Watch what happens. Now, the key to success for one is be an authority. Be an authority. To be an authority, you have to have a book, you have to write, you could have an ebook, you've got to have a blog, you've got to use social media, because what you have is an opportunity for somebody else to talk about you. How many of you have blogs? You all need blogs. And sometimes you're not allowed to have a blog based on who you work for. But if you do have the opportunity, it's a great way to share using free information. Building rapport. I heard this morning rapport and relationships were hugely important. Rapport is finding common ground with someone. So if I wanted to find common ground with the gentleman who's working on his phone right now. So what have we got in common? Tom, what have we got in common? Yeah, I'm going to find some common ground. Where are you from?
Also from Parkland County.
Oh, okay. So you know the girl in green?
I know her very well, yes.
How intimately do you know her? I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way. How well do you know her? Very well?
Yes.
Are you a counselor as well?
No, I'm not.
So what's she like as a counselor?
She's one of the 6 best counselors that we have.
That sort of sounds like the person this morning when he was asked, who's a better networker, women or men? Depends on your point of view. Very good. So I'd like to trade cards with you as well. Because in order for me to help you, I might want a different perspective. And perspectives are important because you're coming at it from one side, she's coming at it from another. So it's rapport. I use what's called the RISE philosophy. Rapport, information, solutions, ethically. Use it. How's my time? We've got 5 minutes. Okay, here's the deal. You start with an opportunity. Today is your opportunity to get my business card. Who cares? But if you get my business card and you follow my system, you're going to contact me. And if you're going to contact me, what you want to do is explore first. You want to Google me. You want to, and this is, I'm using me as an example. This could be anybody you want to connect with. You need to ask Google for all the information that Google could give you. Because in order for you to build a rapport and really get what you want out of people, you have to know who that person is. So once you've done that, you come up with a strategy. Now that strategy might be, well, I've got a small community, and I'd really like to compare them to Milton. Why don't we do a study? Why don't we do something that will allow us to have some sort of measurable result? Well, that strategy is going to help me, so I'm interested. So I said, okay, if I help you with this, and you do a report, can I share that report on my radio program? Can I share that report in my blog? Is there a way that I can utilize that? And what happens is, we all win. Because we have taken a system from opportunity to solution. Okay, this is quick. Power of one. This is a video, and I'm not sure if anybody will remember, but I was Canada's first Spice Girl. Now, I know I don't look like a Spice Girl, but I invented the blend of spices that goes into sour cream for chip dip. You may all thank me for that. Prior to that, it was licked and onion soup mix. You took that yellow lump and you threw it into sour cream and you hoped it heck it tasted good. I was at the right place at the right time with the right set of circumstances. I was able to access government funding. I was able to work with my counselors. I was able to do all of the things that allowed me to go from nothing to $1 million in just over a year. Now, if you happen to have small businesses in your community, they want to see that because I'm an ordinary person. I am not anybody special. I just found the method, and it works. So you have to watch that. Okay, the power of one. I am a foster mom for Dog Guides of Canada. I train dogs, and I know what a dog can do for someone who has special needs. Do you know anyone who has special needs? If you do, you want to know who I know, so I can share what that's all about. I train standard poodles. Standard poodles are the smartest dogs in the world. I will take anyone on this. They know more than you know, and when you're training them, they are training you. So I have two that failed, and they both live with me, and I swear they can talk to each other and say, look, if we do this right, we won't have to go into training, you can stay with her. I'm a Rotarian. How many of you got young kids? Yeah. Rotary, I should be talking to every single Rotary Club. Rotary Club is the place to connect. Rotary, there is 82,000 clubs around the world. They're getting into anything with youth. Camp Enterprise, Interact, all kinds of things. The power of one, do you know about Interact? Yes. Okay, Interact is high school. And we had a teacher strike in Ontario. So the kids are going to have an event, there's no teachers. One strike? Just one strike. Just one, but it was a big one. And I'm rather vociferous. So I said things that I probably shouldn't have said, like, well, if you don't have any teachers, we better find somebody else that can give you guidance because they're too busy walking around on the picket line, which was not nice of me, but I did it anyway. And you got to recognize my father was a union man, so he probably would have hit me over the head with a picket sign. But these kids from Interact wanted to buy a shelter box, which is $1,000, and it's a box full of everything that you need in order to go to a disaster zone. So what we did was we, with the power of one, said, we have to help these kids. And within a day, I had adults who were willing to give their guidance, willing to supply them, willing to do everything, and we served dinner for 130 people. And we raised the money, and these kids have got a shelter box. That's Rotary, and it's also the power of one. And if you don't have Camp Enterprise out here, you should. It's a business boot camp for kids. It's a great way to grow. So any Rotarians, share that Camp Enterprise deal. This is Johnny the Bagger Boy, and he has Down syndrome. And I'm really going to tell you that the reason he's up here is that Johnny loved his job. He's a bagger in a grocery store. His parents are engineers, and every day when they turned their computers on, it would come a positive affirmation. And he said to his parents, can I get those in words? Can I get them on a piece of paper? His parents scratched their head, and they said, yeah, what do you want it for? And he said, I want the people I bag groceries for to know that I care about them. I want to put that message in a bag. Well, his parents thought it was great. They helped him. Sure enough, every day he would get a whole bunch of messages, and he'd put them in the bags. Now, 3 weeks goes down the road, and the owner of the grocery store comes in, and there's a long lineup on one cash register. He scratches his head, and he says, what's going on? And he said, well, nothing. So he says to the cashier, excuse me, but, you know, the other cash registers are open, and all the people say, it's fine. He said, but all the cashiers are equally good. And they said, yeah, but Johnny's bagging on this one. He said, but I don't understand. All of the baggers are equally good. And they said, and this is the point, but Johnny makes us know that he cares about us. Do the people in your community know you care about them? Because if they don't, maybe you have to put something in their grocery bag. So, you know, Johnny had Down syndrome, and he really did it really quick. Okay, social media, I'm going through fast. If you're not on LinkedIn, you should be, and you should be linked to me, because then you know who I know. If you don't have a LinkedIn group, you should have one, because then they know who you know. If you don't have a blog, you should do one, so that people know who you are. You should use Google Alerts. Google Alerts will give you information, and you don't have to work on it. You need to tweet. I hope all of you were tweeting today. You need to be on a business Facebook page, you need Blog Talk Radio, and you need a YouTube channel. I have them all, I'm happy to share them. The power of one, be prepared. Business cards in your right pocket, collect them in your left pocket. Be open-minded, have a we, not me attitude. Every time you see somebody, say, hi, what do you want to accomplish today? Is there anything I can help you with? You'll be surprised at what people say. But if you say, hi, let me tell you all about myself, their eyes are going to glass over and they're going to go, oh, no, okay. So I'm going to move on because I'm going to be killed. Here's my book, that's it, I'm done. God, if I don't get off pretty soon, she's going to kill me. But I will be out there, and I do have my books, and I wanted to bring one thing to your attention, and you might already know this. This is called Newcomers to Canada Day Planner. How many of you have this? Nobody has it? This is the best resource that your community could have. Newcomers to Canada Day Planner. If you want a copy of this, I am willing to tell you how you get these copies for free. It is sponsored by an association out of Ontario, but it is funded by the government. And the only thing you will have to pay is the shipping. I use it on a regular basis, and it tells everyone what they need to know about Canada, including its provinces. What it doesn't do is it doesn't tell you, go to Alberta for this or that. So you might be able to add value to this. I found out about this book about 5 years ago. And I called because I liked it. And I said, I'd like to speak to the person who's in charge who did this book. And the person on the phone said, I'm sorry, they're not available. And I said, darn, I wanted to tell her how great it was. Oh, just a moment, I'll connect you. They thought I was going to complain. And when I told them that it was a fabulous book, they said, how many copies do you want? I said, how many can I have? She said, there's 32 in a box. And I said, can I have a bunch of boxes? She said, how big's your truck? So I give these out wherever I go. Now, I don't pay for them, but I don't get paid to do this. I give it out because it's a resource that's valuable. You're going to have new Canadians coming, and you're going to be able to fill them in on some information, but you're not going to be able to fill them in at all. So this is good. So somebody will get this before I leave. And this is what the Royal Bank book looks like. This is Effective Networking Strategies. Yeah, I should put it right side up, but sometimes I'm upside down. Okay, and this one is called Cycles of Life, Keeping You on Track. This one is totally my life, and it is where I've been, what I've done, how I've done it. When you read the book, if you read the book, I ask you to review it. And when you review it, you put your name on it as the reviewer, and you put your email address on it as well, and then I post it. So now, where you're from, counselor, what you liked about the book is in it. Don't say anything bad. No pressure. But it raises awareness. And it gives people the idea that these are people who move around. So enjoy the rest of today. What are we doing tonight?
Hospitality suite.
We all
Hospitality suite. Same place, same time.
We're going to go in water's underwear. Is that what you said? He said it. I didn't say that. Okay. So anyone who I haven't met, I would love to meet. And I want to personally thank you, Leanne, because I wouldn't be here without you. And you just did a fabulous job. And Tracy, I'm looking forward to coaching you. And those of you who I haven't met, I would like to, and don't lose that eye. Thank you.